The mountains of Bosnia were his cradle, the year of his birth, lost to time. Bato the Daesitiate, born sometime between 35 and 30 BC, entered a world on the edge of empire. His people, the Daesitiates, were fierce and proud. They valued strength and courage. Bato, from his youth, embodied these virtues. He heard the tales of past heroes, their deeds echoing through the valleys. None resonated more strongly than Bato the Illyrian king who had challenged the might of Macedon itself. Bato dreamt of similar glory. He would become a shield for his people, a name whispered with respect and fear. The Romans, however, had other plans. Their legions had marched across the Balkans, leaving behind the shattered remnants of conquered tribes. Bato's people became subjects of Rome, their independence fading like a half-remembered song the young Daesitiate seethed. He saw the Roman tax collectors, their hands outstretched for tribute. He witnessed the arrogance of Roman officials. He felt the humiliation of a conquered people. In his heart, a fire began to burn, a fire that would one day consume the Balkans. Rome's embrace was often suffocating. Conquered lands were not merely absorbed. They were remade in Rome's image. Taxes flowed from the provinces to the coffers of Rome. Roman laws replaced local customs. Roman governors, often distant and unsympathetic, dictated the lives of millions. For the Daesitiates, life under Roman rule was a bitter pill to swallow. They were permitted a degree of autonomy. Their own chieftains still held sway, dispensing justice and maintaining order within their territories. This semblance of freedom only fueled their resentment. They chafed under the yoke, their pride wounded, their warrior spirit yearning for release. This precarious peace, this illusion of coexistence, could not last forever. The embers of discontent, fanned by Roman insensitivity and fueled by Daesitiate pride, were about to ignite. Bato, now a seasoned warrior and respected leader, would become the flame that set the Balkans ablaze. The year was 6 AD. The Roman Empire, vast and seemingly invincible, stretched from the misty shores of Britain to the sun-drenched sands of Syria. Yet even giants could bleed. In the Balkans, resentment towards Roman rule simmered just below the surface. All it needed was a spark. That spark came in the form of Roman miscalculation. The governor of Illyricum, oblivious to the simmering discontent, ordered the mobilization of Illyrian auxiliaries. These warriors, hardened by years of fighting alongside Roman legions, were to be sent to the eastern fringes of the empire. There they would fight and die in Rome's endless wars of conquest. For many Illyrians, this was the final straw. The order to march east was seen for what it was, a death sentence on foreign soil for a cause that was not their own. Among the Daesitiates, the flames of rebellion erupted. Bato, his voice booming with righteous anger, called for his people to rise up against their oppressors. He would lead them, he vowed, to freedom or to a glorious death. His words found fertile ground. The Daesitiates, their warrior blood ignited, flocked to his banner. The rebellion had begun. News of the Daesitiate uprising spread through the mountains and valleys of Illyricum like wildfire. Other tribes, nursing their own grievances against Rome, took heart from the Daesitiates' defiance. Among them were the Boici, another powerful Illyrian tribe inhabiting the lands south of the Sava River. They too had a Bato, a chieftain of renown and a fearsome warrior. This Bato, sensing an opportunity to break free from Roman rule, answered the Daesitiate Bato's call to arms. The two Batos, united by their shared ancestry, their shared hatred of Rome, and their shared name, forged an alliance. Together they would become a force that threatened to shake the foundations of Roman power in the Balkans. Their combined forces, a formidable host of hardened warriors, prepared for the inevitable Roman response. They knew that the legions, those engines of war that had crushed countless enemies, would soon descend upon them. They would be ready. They would fight with the fury of men possessed, the fury of men fighting for their freedom. Section 5, The Eagles Descend. Word of the Illyrian rebellion reached Rome, carried by panicked messengers. The news was met with a mixture of disbelief and fury. Rome, accustomed to the swift suppression of provincial uprisings, did not fully grasp the scale of the revolt or the determination of its leaders. The Emperor Augustus, aging but still a shrewd political operator, understood the gravity of the situation. This was not some minor disturbance. This was a full-scale rebellion threatening to engulf the entire Balkan peninsula. It demanded swift and decisive action. Legions were recalled from distant frontiers. Veteran commanders, their chests adorned with medals of past victories, were tasked with crushing the Illyrian revolt. The Roman war machine, slow to anger but unstoppable once in motion, began to grind into gear. The eagles were coming. Section 6. A costly victory at Anditrium. The first major clash between the legions and the Illyrians took place at Anditrium, a Daesitiate stronghold nestled amidst the Bosnian mountains. The Roman commander, Aulus Caecina Severus, a seasoned veteran of numerous campaigns, approached the fortress with cautious respect. He knew that the Illyrians, fighting on home ground, would be a formidable foe. The legions, their discipline and training unmatched, were confident of victory. They had not reckoned on the ferocity of the Illyrian defense. The battle raged for days. The Illyrians, led by the Daesitiate Bato, fought with the courage of cornered wolves. They hurled javelins from the ramparts, their war cries echoing through the valleys. They met Roman assaults with a ferocity that shocked even the most hardened legionaries. In the end, Roman discipline and superior numbers prevailed. Anditrium fell. Yet the victory was a costly one, bought with the blood of many Roman soldiers. The Illyrians had fought with such ferocity, such disregard for their own lives, that the Roman victory felt more like a defeat. Section 7. The walls of Salona. Emboldened by their success at Anditrium, the Romans marched south, aiming to crush the heart of the rebellion. Their target, Salona, a prosperous coastal city and the capital of the Roman province of Dalmatia. The capture of Salona would be a devastating blow to the Illyrians, depriving them of a vital strategic asset and a symbol of Roman authority. The two Batos, understanding the stakes, gathered their forces to defend the city. They were joined by a motley force of rebel sympathizers, escaped slaves, and even some disillusioned Roman auxiliaries who had switched sides. The stage was set for a showdown that would determine the fate of the rebellion. The Romans, led by Marcus Vinicius, a general known for his ruthlessness, laid siege to Salona. They expected a swift victory. The defenders, they believed, would crumble under the weight of a Roman siege. They were wrong. The Illyrians, inspired by the two Batos and fighting within sight of their homes, repelled Roman assault after Roman assault. They rained down fire and stones upon the besiegers. They sallied out from the gates, their swords thirsty for Roman blood. The siege dragged on, much to the frustration of Vinicius and the Roman high command. Salona, despite being heavily outnumbered and outmatched, refused to fall. Section 8. What you Romans... The Illyrian revolt dragged on for 3 years, draining Roman resources. Augustus sent Tiberius to end the conflict decisively. Tiberius, a brilliant strategist, pursued the Illyrians relentlessly. He offered leniency to those who surrendered. Many accepted, but Bato refused. Bato and his followers retreated into the Bosnian mountains. Surrounded, Bato surrendered, but remained defiant. What you Romans, he spat, have gained by making our flocks into shepherds and our shepherds into wolves. His words became a testament to resistance against tyranny. Section 9. A life in captivity. Tiberius, though impressed by Bato's defiance, could not allow the Daesitiate leader to remain free. Bato and his family were taken to Rome, paraded through the streets as trophies of Roman might. The crowds, eager for a spectacle, gawked at the defeated chieftain, their cheers a testament to Roman power. Bato, however, refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing him broken. He walked with his head held high, his gaze fixed, his spirit unbroken. He was a captive, yes, but his spirit remained unconquered. Instead of execution, an act that might have made Bato a martyr, Tiberius decided on a different fate for the Daesitiate chieftain. Bato was sent to Ravenna, a prosperous port city on the Adriatic coast. There, under the watchful eyes of Roman guards, he lived out the rest of his days, a prisoner in a gilded cage. The details of his captivity are shrouded in the mists of time. Some say he lived a life of relative comfort, provided for by his Roman captors. Others whisper that he never abandoned hope of escape, his dreams haunted by visions of his homeland. Regardless of his fate, one thing is certain. Bato the Daesitiate, the warrior who dared to challenge the might of Rome, became a legend. His name, whispered in hushed tones, would forever be associated with courage, defiance, and the unyielding spirit of freedom. He was a reminder that even in defeat, even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit could remain unbroken.